Ideas, imagination, inspiration, macro world. Here's your host, Ray Scott.
Hi there, great to be with you again. It's been a while, and I hope you and your family are doing very well. Autumn photography today. Not autumn leaves, autumn flowers. Macro style as we get in really close to something called Stonecrop Sedum. Now, you may not have that particular flower around you. It may be something else, and you will see other flowers in your neighborhood if they're not in your own backyard. Today we're going in the backyard, and let's take a look at Stonecrop Sedum up close. It's really, really interesting. So here we are with a clump of Stonecrop Sedum, and the idea here in this video is to get in really close for some macro photography, and I'm going to show you some of the mistakes I made too, and some things that maybe I should have done differently, just to give you an idea of really how to go about all of this. So let's move in close for the first shot as we go above. And of course, we're using a tripod today with a 100 millimeter macro lens, f2.8 macro lens. All right, here we go. First shot up, shot at a 50th of a second, and the aperture is f5.6 ISO 100. All right. The idea here to show you what the background is, but not in a very sharp way, because we know what the winner here is. The winner, the flowers. That's what we want to show. We're not too concerned with the flowers off to the right and the left. What we want to do is really show you the one in the middle and start getting up at it. If I had used f11, the flowers would have been a little bit more in focus, of course, but then the background would be too, and it would have taken away from the whole thing. From a compositional standpoint, in order to add a little bit of more of a dynamic quality, I think it's worth noting that I used the diagonal aspect of the flowers to create that. This is what I really got interested in, was the fact that the flowers were starting to bloom, and this is just the piece of a flower. So part of the flower is in full bloom, as you can see at the bottom here, and then the top part is just starting to open up. Shot at a 20th of a second, f11, ISO 400 for this one. And it's almost like lace, like flower lace, if you know what I mean. And the aperture of f11 that I use for this one is because I'm up closer. So because I'm up closer, I can use a deeper depth of field, and still the background, while you can see what's going on a little bit, it's very fuzzy, out of focus. It's what you want, because you want the winner to be the flowers. At least I did. You know something? I shouldn't say it's what you want it to be, because, hey, listen, you may want it to be something completely different. So that's what it's all about too. All right, let's move in a little bit closer, and I want to show you something that could have been done differently here. All right, here we're really into that lacy part of the flower. We're up really close. Shot at a 15th of a second at f11, ISO 400. Now, you can see on the right-hand side, a little bit soft on some of those buds. Now, that's because of two things. One, the focal plane, I wasn't exactly flat to the focal plane, if you know what I mean. The lens wasn't exactly flat. It was angled just slightly off, and that's all you need, is just to be slightly off. I also could have used maybe f16 to bring it in a little bit more in focus, but mostly it's the focal plane that was a little bit off. I didn't have it square to the flower, not perfectly square. And when you're up this close, you better be perfectly square. Otherwise, you're going to have that little bit of softness there. But let's concentrate on what was sharp and look at how beautiful each little bud is. Some of them completely closed, some of them just starting to open, and so on and so forth. What a beautiful way to show Stonecrop Sedum. Just starting to open up a little bit here. Now for something completely different, we get down low with the tripod and shallow depth of field here of f2.8, shot at ISO 200. The idea here is to have a washed out feeling. There's not a lot of contrast here. In fact, I used a vignette, but what I call a reverse vignette. It's a white vignette. And so the center is completely clear, and then it sort of washes out to white. This is what I wanted. I wanted that really soft, almost dreamy effect for the Stonecrop Sedum. Hey, listen, we're only limited by our imaginations. You can do anything you want, give it any treatment you want. It's whatever floats your boat, right? And here, let's not forget the little critters that inhabit our backyard and our neighborhood and that are so important as the pollination of these flowers. And we have this bee working on the plant, shot at f2.8. Again, maybe could have used f4, maybe even f5.6, but I didn't want that background to be bothering what was the focus of this shot, which was the bee hard at work. And one final shot from the Sedum collection here. And this is the one that really excited me, actually. I had a vision in my mind where I just wanted a shaft of light that was coming in through the fence. And I didn't really want to see too much of what was going on around it. I just wanted that slit, that slash of light to be in focus using a spot meter on my camera. And it was really fast shutter speed, actually, about 1/3000th of a second at f2.8. But dark all around. Could have had it even darker and not seen anything, but that I wanted you to see a little bit of something, but I wanted the drama to be that bit of light just cutting across the flower, and then you see a little bit of what's going on around it. Again, all kinds of different things that you can do, all kinds of different treatments that you can apply to your autumn macro photography. Not always the time of year that we expect to be shooting flowers, but autumn flowers can be a lot of fun and they can yield some really interesting results. So be on the lookout for that in and around your neighborhood. Until next time, I'm Ray Scott, reminding you to shoot small, but think big.